Hey guys, welcome to Stretch and Release. So if you've got a strap and a block, have them handy now. And we're going to start lying on our backs. So just come into your corpse pose, your Shavasana. We will end with a Shavasana as well, but I just want you to close your eyes, palms facing up, have a little wiggle, and then close the eyes and breathe. Oh, just letting go of your day if it's the end of your day. Or just breathing energy into your body if it's the start of your day, whenever you're doing this practice. And begin to breathe into the belly, into the ribs. So just taking your breath a little deeper than you normally would into the chest. Without forcing though, keep it gentle. So this class is all about stretching out your muscles, stretching your body, just having a little release with the breath. So not holding on. When we can add our breath into our stretching, we really get more benefits. So let's start with our happy baby. Draw the knees into the chest, give yourself a big squeeze. And just point your chin towards your belly button rather than up towards the ceiling, so the back of the neck is long. And take the arms on the insides of the legs, grab your ankles or the outer edges of your feet, just gently pull down towards the ground. So in today's stretch and release, we'll focus a lot on the hips, around our pelvis and our bottom, our glutes. So right now, if your lower back's really lifted off the floor, just press it into the ground, lengthen out the spine. And gently push your feet into your hands into your feet. So it becomes more of an active stretch. You've got a bit of resistance against the muscles. Now I want you to see if you can keep your feet there and just remove your hands. Bring your hands out to the side. And just notice if they stayed there or maybe they fell down a little bit. So just working with this passive and this active range. Now hold back onto your ankles or the outer edges of your feet and begin to take a rock from side to side. If it does become too much, you can always hold onto the backs of your thighs as well. That's an option. And then just play around with straightening the legs if that feels good, one at a time, both at the same time, whatever feels good for you right now. And then bring both knees back into the chest. Hold behind the thighs and begin to rock up and down through the spine. So just gentle, all the way up, all the way down. And your final one coming all the way up onto the hands and knees. Have the hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Let's move through some cat-cows. So inhaling, lower the belly, open the chest. Exhale, tuck the bottom under, round through the spine. Inhale, lower the belly, lengthen through the chest bone. Exhale, chin to chest, round your shoulders. Do one more like that. And exhaling to round. Come to a neutral tabletop and lift your right leg straight out behind you and then bend at the knee. Now take your right knee out to the side, and we're going to create circles in one direction with the hip. So keep it slow, keep it controlled. We're just bringing some mobility into the hips and go in the opposite direction. And then bring it back onto the mat. Now take the left leg out behind you, bend at the knee. And just notice if the lower belly starts to dip. And this means that you'll be working into the lower back and not, it might be compressing there. So I want you to lift your belly button up so we strengthen the lower back. And then begin to take the left knee out to the side, creating circles. So the movement comes from the hip rather than the lower back like that. And then go in the opposite direction. Now, if you ever experience clicky hips, that's a whole other subject. I get clicky hips. It can be a number of things. It could be the tendons rubbing over each other. It could just be the shape of your femur, the head and socket. So just bring the knees back down. So don't worry too much. We can go through that another time. I just want you to take your hips around in one big circle now. And then going in the other direction. Come back to your tabletop, thread the needle. Plant the left hand. Inhale, right arm lifts. Exhale, thread right arm underneath left. Bring shoulder and ear towards the ground. Now if they don't reach, you can always use a block or a cushion underneath your right shoulder or your head. Play around with props to modify if you need it. Come back onto the hands. Right hand plants down. Inhale, lift your left arm. Exhale, thread it through. Release. Use your breath to release. So inhaling into the body. Exhale, soften the body. When I say soften, soften around the eyes, the jaw, the shoulders, the belly, the hips, the fingers. And then come back onto the hands and knees. Now step the right leg forward. If you've just done the 30-minute power yoga class, we would have done quite a few lizard lunges. We'll put one in now. So shuffle the right foot to the right side of the mat. Hands underneath the shoulders. Now you can either stay here if you want to go a little bit deeper, come onto your block, or maybe all the way to the ground. Keep the shoulders and the hips square to the front of the mat. So if you're a little bit wonky and all over the place, just come back to the option before. You can even use a block for extra height if you're feeling particularly tight in the hips. Okay, and then step it back onto both hands and knees. Switch sides. Left leg in front. Shuffle it to the left side of the mat, lizard lunge. Hips are square to the mat. So if your right hip's dipping, pull it back. Keep length through the upper spine. So instead of rounding, create this length through the upper mid spine. Option if you want to go a little deeper, come onto your block or maybe all the way to the ground. And keeping length through your spine, just soften through the back of the neck. Deep breath in, big breath out. Coming back onto the hands if you're down low, and then just coming onto the hands and the knees. Step your feet to the outer edges of your mat, coming into a malasana, low yogi squat. So sitting the bottom down towards the floor. Now you've got options here. Your heels can be lifted. Your hands can be to your heart center and the elbows to the insides of the thighs. Your heels can be down. For a supported version, which is really nice sometimes, is to sit onto a block. And then you can lift your chest up high, relax around the hips, and close down the eyes. So just work with your body where you're at right now. Either use a block to support yourself or remove the block. Bring the hands to the floor, and you're going to lift your bum all the way up and bring your feet in together. Now turn sideways on your mat, take your legs wide leg forward fold. Press down into all four corners of the feet, so your legs are actually switched on and your hands are on the floor. If they don't reach the floor, grab a block or a cushion or something you can hold on to. I want you to push the bottom back, as if somebody's pulling your hips backwards, but your chest bone is pulling forwards. So imagine my hands are around your hips and I'm gently guiding your hips back, but your chest is pulling forwards. Now I want you to relax your body towards the floor. Let the hands relax wherever they fall. You can bend the knees as much as you need to here. Deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And slowly heel toe the feet all the way together. And take your time, internal rotation, external rotation, internal rotation, external rotation. Every part of our yoga practice has a meaning and a reason behind it. Come down onto your knees and then come all the way onto your back. Once you're on your back, take the soles of the feet together. Let the knees fall out wide. This is reclined Baddha Konasana. Just have your hands on your lower belly, like your pelvic area. Close the eyes. Now, if this is too much for your hips or one hip has a bit of pain, you can always use a block or a cushion just to support underneath the thigh or the knee. So before I've had a hip injury or I've strained it, I just pop a block or something to support underneath that side. But if it feels good, have nothing there. Listen to your body. Okay, let's close our eyes. And breathe into your hands. And as you breathe out, release anything you're holding in the shoulders. Release anything you're holding in the hips. And just bring the hands towards the outsides of the legs. Gently assist your legs back together in the center. Take your feet mat distance apart and let the knees fall together in the middle. Now we're working with this internal rotation of the hips, so this might be enough. You might feel like you want to take your feet just a little bit wider and then let the knees fall together in the middle. And again, have your hands on your lower belly, around your hip bones. close the eyes. So we're just going to rest here for a couple of moments. And again, with your exhale, softening the shoulders, the middle of the spine, soften. And just notice if you can feel anything in your legs. We'll all be different depending on tightness or openness in the hips, in the legs. So just feeling for any sensations. So for example, I can feel a slight pulling on the outside of my left knee. I'm not judging, we're just noticing if you can feel anything. The weight might feel quite equal with both sides of your legs. You might feel heavier in one side. Slowly heel toe the feet together. Take your time. And then release the left leg flat to the mat. Hug the right knee into the chest. Hug the right knee into the armpit so it just comes to the right hand side. Close the eyes. Focus on this steady breath in, breath out. Supine twist. Draw the right knee across the body with the left hand. Right arm out to the right hand side. Now you control how much your leg comes over here. You can get different kinds of stretches with this supine twist. So you might allow your knee just to hover in the air with no hand. You might want to gently assist it towards the ground. But find the posture that you want to be in today. In this supine twist, maybe the hips shuffle more towards the middle of the mat if you want to go a little bit deeper into the spine. And then close the eyes and just breathe for the next few moments. And then rolling back onto the spine. Bring both feet onto the mat. Shuffle your spine so it's down the middle of the mat. Extend the right leg long. Left knee comes into the chest. And then just draw your left knee towards the left armpit, so a little more over to the left side. Just notice if there's any holding in the legs, in the hips. See if you can relax. Soften the jaw, the tongue, the mouth. Supine twist. Draw your left knee across the body. And find what works for you. You might want to shuffle your right shoulder blade more to the right, and then the left shoulder blade comes down a little more. It might be that your left knee draws more away from the shoulders to create more length in the spine, or you might draw the left knee closer towards your shoulders. Really just depends how you're feeling today. Find the twist that works for you, and then settle, close your eyes, take a few deep, steady breaths. Releasing on the exhale. And just drawing the legs back into the center. Realign your spine down the middle of your mat. Give yourself a final squeeze. Take a rock from side to side. Then just bring the hands on tops of the knees. Take your knees around in opposite directions. So in little circles, holding the tops of your knees. And then the opposite direction. And if your brain works in a certain way, you might be able to go in opposite circles. A little confusing. Okay, and then coming to your Shavasana. Short few moments just to relax. Feet fall to the corners of the mat, palms facing up. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth, sigh out. Just notice what you can hear. And notice your body on the ground just for the next few moments of silence. Okay, and then just deepen the breath. Bring the soles of the feet onto the mat and just roll onto your right hand side. Keeping the head relaxed, just push yourself up to a seated position. Eyes stay closed. Bring the hands together by the heart. Just having a moment of gratitude for your amazing body, for all that it is, all that it does. And gratitude to you for showing up to the mat. Gifting your body this stretch. Bow your forehead to your fingertips. Namaste.